All right, excellent. Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Aquilina from Sydney, Australia. It's my great honour and privilege to be here this evening to learn from our very special guests that you're going to hear from. And I'll kind of be his wingman in the background, handling any technical issues. So I'll be on chat. If you have any problems, just put something in the chat box and I'll try to keep up with that as best as I can. But let's not delay any further. Our speaker this evening has been successful in sales and marketing from an early age for the last 23 years. And he's been an industry leader as a professional network marketer for that time and more. Now, his success has taken him to the top leadership levels in not just one, but two companies. He's done it twice. He has a passion for working with principle-driven companies and people in the field to expand their distribution networks across the globe by empowering people to develop a rock-solid belief in themselves, unleash the giant that lays within them, and be the change that they want to see in the world. He is a founding Diamond member of here in Australia, but he has opened up a global business with ASEA in a very short period of time. He is the man who saved my best friend's life. I'm pretty sure that everyone on this call is familiar with the name Danny Dynamite, $1 Million Dan Doyle. And this is the man that you're going to hear from this evening. This is the man that just had the courage to pick up the phone and voice what was going on in Utah with this incredible breakthrough. And because of that, he saved my best friend's life. So I'm indebted to him for that. Thank you very much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you could put a virtual round of applause together, because we are all muted and I'm going to keep you such. But if you could put your hands together, please, for a triple diamond executive, Bart Kotter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stevie. I appreciate that. Appreciate that generous introduction.
71.
I'm excited to share with you something that I think can really be a powerful way to really make to really build your business. Because the one thing that I've discovered, and this conversation, this training is entitled Conversations to Commitment. Really what I want to talk about is the ability to take someone from a place of being interested and being curious and maybe intrigued with ASEA as a business, to really taking them to a whole nother place in their business, to where they've made a decision, a commitment. And that commitment isn't just the people that you're talking with, but it's also your commitment to help them, because this is really truly a team effort. It's a team commitment to do this together. Now, the one thing about building a network marketing business, particularly building an ASEA business, is quite often sometimes there can be some misperceptions in the profession of network marketing, and maybe even in ASEA, that some people might look at it and think of it as a get-rich-quick sort of a thing. I want to assure you that it is not. It takes time, it takes effort, but the question is it worth it? And I want to assure you that it absolutely is. Now, regardless of how fast your business grows, I think that you could talk with the leaders that have built their business the fastest, and they would probably tell you that it didn't grow fast enough, that they were hoping that it would grow faster, quicker. Sometimes it grows faster for some people. Some of us have to pay our dues in other things in life. For example, my background, as Stevie had mentioned, I've been involved with sales, and in the past, my background, I worked as a custom jewelry designer for years, traveled around with $2 million worth of settings and things. And I actually, worked with customers and helped create beautiful things and develop some people skills along that line. And then I was, later, I was the business representative for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So I talked with lots of business owners, so I paid my dues maybe in some other things. For some people, maybe you're paying your dues in terms of building your people skills, building your sales skills, if you want to call it that, in ASEA, and that's fine too. The thing we want to do is to give you some ideas on how you can shorten that learning curve and to really help to lock in the commitment with your people, so that you're building a team to create the freedom that not only you want, but you're helping other people that you'd really like to take along with you to do this as well. So pretty excited to share this with you. And this conversation is really called the Bart Kotter close, if you want to think of it as that. And it's locking in your why. Because here's the fact: you can have a million reasons why not to do something, but if really you've got one good reason, you've got a million reasons why not, but if you got one really good reason why you want to do it, then that's all it takes. I think of Christina Williams talking about her kids and wanting to create of the struggles of just, she says, if you want to find out your why or what motivates her, you just go in and look at her kids when they're sleeping at night. And she realizes that that's what she's doing it for, is for her kids to build those memories, to build those experiences, those dreams. Can look at, we all have a why, something that motivates us, something that drives us. And if you don't, you want to reach inside and really find that why, find that reason, because that's the thing that will get you out of bed. That's the thing that will help you to pick up the phone. That's the thing that will keep you going when you have challenges, because you are going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs. It doesn't matter what you do in life, whether it's ASEA, whether it's network marketing, whether it's any job, any business, you're going to have some challenges. But as long as you know clearly why you're doing it and you know that it's worth it, you can absolutely get through that. Now, what I'd like to do is I want to play a little video for you, and it's a video of the One World Trade Center, which is appropriately named the Freedom Tower. Now, the point in playing this video is I want to show you something. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. When I play this video, I want you to just think for a second. This huge tower that you see standing, right here erect, it's pretty impressive. But I want you to notice in this video, it's a time-lapse photography, and I want you to notice how long it took just to build the foundation before it really started to go up. You'll notice that nearly about a third of the time of this video, and it just goes for about 2.5, 3 minutes. It doesn't go for long, but I want you to pay attention to how long the foundation took to build. And once you had that foundation laid, how it really started to erect and go up. And I want you to think of that in terms of your ASEA business, because sometimes in the beginning, it takes a little while to lay that foundation. And I believe, as Denny Robinson said, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 3 to 5 years. And so I really want you to have a clear perspective on the long-term,
It says here on mute.
Gillian, if you can please mute your mic, I'd sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Mute.
And let me go ahead and play this. we're, was everybody able to see the video? Sean, were you, or Stevie, were you able to see the video on that?
Yes, it was just me, Bart. Wrong setting.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I hope you were able to see how impressive that was and how long, just to lay the foundation. It took a little while. And so sometimes the point of that video is to have a long-term perspective. You have a long-term perspective on building your business, because again, this is not a get-rich-quick thing. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort, but to realize that it is absolutely worth it. Now, let's see, Jillian Garbett, if you can please leave your mic muted, I'd sure appreciate it. Thank you. What I want to do here is I want to share with you where we're going to go with this. If we're going to build a house, so let me preface it this way. What I want to do is I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to have a conversation with Sean Farrell, and but what I want to do is Sean is basically, he's been involved with ASEA for a little while. We're going to basically set this up as Sean is more or less a new associate, and he's been to a presentation, he's looked over some information, he's been using the product, but now we're at a place where we really want to take that commitment to a whole nother place, a whole nother level. And so here's the fact: before I could personally put my heart and soul, before I could put my belief behind something, and before you can too, there's certain questions that are going on through your head, whether they're conscious or whether they're unconscious. And some of those questions are, you're really wondering, is this something that I can get involved with and be proud of? So what we're talking about is believe. You got to know that it's something that you can truly believe in. We're going to take a look at the foundation. The next thing that we're going to take along is something that you can belong to, or something that you can get into. And so if you're going to build a house, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to lay a really solid foundation. The second thing that you want to do is you got to have something that you can belong to. So if you're building a house, you've got to frame that house. You've got to create the structure, something that people can get into and that they can be a part of and that they can really feel a sense of belonging to. And the third thing is, and so this is really about the team and also the commitment. And the third thing is become. It's really about what we become. And of course, this is part of the ASEA ethos, is believe, belong, become. The belong is really about your dream. It's about your why, what your dreams and goals and commitments are. And so this is sort of the basic framework of the conversation. Now, the thing that I want to share with you is you can actually have a similar flow to this conversation, whether you're talking with someone, right away, in the beginning, a prospect. You can have this conversation with someone who's been through the processes we're going to go through with Sean, or you can actually have this conversation with someone who's been on your team for a while, who is really just, kind of coasting, maybe showing up through for some things. Whoops, hang on just a second. Just go back one click. Someone who's been to really step up that commitment level and really take it to a whole nother level. And so, we're going to go through this conversation, and then after we do that conversation, I'm going to more clearly tell you what it is that I've just gone through with Sean. So I'm telling you what I'm going to tell you. Then I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to tell you what I told you. is kind of the way to look at this. So let me introduce you to Sean Farrell. Sean, are you there?
I'm here.
Sean, thanks for joining us on the call here, and so in kind of laying this out, like I said, Sean has been involved with ASEA for a little while, and as I'm looking and planning and strategizing my business, I'm looking at where I want to focus my time, my effort, and attention. So Sean, of all the people that I know, of all the people that are in my team, all the people that I'd really like to build a future with, Sean, you're one of those people that I would absolutely love to work with. And as I've been thinking and planning, and Melissa and I have been talking about building our business, we've been thinking, where do we want to focus our time and attention? The fact is that we'd really like to work with you, if that's what you'd like to do. Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a little bit of a conversation with you, and I'd like to just tell you exactly where we're at. I want to find out if this is right for you or not. I want to find out and just kind of get clear on where we're going from here. That'd be all right?
That'd be great.
Okay. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about, Sean, is before I could be involved, before I could really put my blood, sweat, and tears, before I could put my faith and belief, before I could talk to my friends and my family about ASEA, the fact is there's certain things that I needed to know about this company before I could really feel good about it. I mean, there's a difference between having a belief in using the products and having a belief level to where you can really feel passionate about sharing this with other people. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
And for me, there was basically three things that I was looking at: integrity, stability, and timing. And as I've gotten to know the people that are involved with ASEA, and particularly the, not just the associates, but the founders and the executive team, I've just been absolutely blown away by the integrity. I mean, just to realize, for example, that the founders, particularly Burtis Norton, turned down, a massive offer from a pharmaceutical company because it's really because of his integrity. He wanted to make sure that this technology got out to humanity. And that just spoke volumes to me that he would, at 68 years old, step out of retirement and really make sure that this was something that was available for all of us. I've been really impressed with the ethos of the company, that it's really about putting principles and people above ego and economic motivations. And so the integrity is something that, and having been involved with other companies before that maybe didn't have that level of integrity, is something that really felt good to me.
Right.
Now, does that make sense?
Yes, and those are the things that would make sense to me as well.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that I think is really important too, is the stability of the company. Now, the fact is that ASEA is debt-free. They've got no long-term debt. They own their own manufacturing facility. They own their own world headquarters in Pleasant Grove. It's a beautiful facility that they've built. And they're absolutely rock solid. In fact, they've had year-on-year growth. The thing that was important to me wasn't to realize that they have a lot of money or that they've made a lot of money, but the simple fact is that a lot of companies are here today and gone tomorrow. It's kind of staggering when you realize how many businesses don't last, how many businesses don't make it. And I was really impressed to see how absolutely rock solid this company is, and their clear vision for the future, which kind of leads us to the third thing, which was incredibly important to me, and that was the timing. Now, you may have heard before that some people say that the best time to get in is at the pre-launch or at the very beginning. I would argue that not really, because that's where a lot of companies have their challenges. That's where a lot of companies don't survive. But we are at a very unique place. We're at a place called, post-startup, but not even pre-momentum. We're in the beginning stages of momentum right now. The company is we're set up in 16 different languages in 35 different countries. We've got distribution places in 18 different locations. I mean, this company is set up to be able to manufacture 10 times the current demand. So they're set up for massive growth and expansion. We are in an absolutely phenomenal place in terms of timing. In real estate, they say it's all about location, 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 right? But with a business like this, it's really about timing. And so for me, this is really important because this lays a foundation. It's something that I can really feel good about. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely. Those, putting it in that manner makes it clearer that a good, strong foundation is what I want to look for. Yeah.
Now, the next thing I want to tell you, Sean, and the reason I'm kind of drawing this out is because to me, this just kind of makes sense. I just wanted to, I want to let you know that we're involved, and as we're drawing this out as a house, that there's something that you can truly be a part of, something that you can belong to. And what I mean by that is I just want to let you know that Melissa and I are absolutely 100% committed, 110% committed. We have made a decision that we are taking this all the way. We feel a personal mission, a personal commitment to help spread this technology to the world. And we know that not only are we going to change a lot of lives physically, but also financially too, as we build a team. And that's why I was saying, of all the people that we know, of all the people that we'd like to work with, you're one of those people that we'd really love to work with. And the fact is, Sean, and I say this with all sincerity, the reason that we love working with you is because you're ambitious, you're self-motivated, you've got a great sense of humor, you're incredibly smart and intelligent, you've got a great way with people, you got excellent presentation skills, you know how to network with people, you're fun to hang around, and not only that, you're fun to ride Harleys with too. As we've had adventures around the world riding motorcycles together and doing all kinds of things together. So look, I can't think of anyone that I'd love to work with and play with and build a future with, than you. And so, and the other thing that I want to tell you, Sean, is that the fact is we're building this with or without you. So the fact is it'd be a whole lot more fun to do it with you than without you. But I just want to let you know that there's absolutely no pressure. There's no pressure from us. It really is your decision, on what you want to do with this. And the fact is we could have a lot of fun working this together. We could help a lot of people. And I know that we could make a lot of money building something amazing together. The events that ASEA puts on, the travel, the reward trips, chance to make a difference, and the financial rewards are just incredible. I know that we could accomplish all these things together. But, with that said, this may or may not be for you. I know that you've been involved, you've been using the products, you've talked with a few people, but I guess I'm talking about really taking this to a whole other level, a whole other place. And so, Sean, I've got a question for you. This might sound a little bit silly. It might sound a little corny. I want you to pretend for a second that, I don't know, that you're 6 years old again and the sky's the limit, you can dream. And my question for you is if I gave you a magic wand, now this is a pen with a little diamond on the top of it, or if you prefer, I could give you this cool magic wand that's got these little sparkly things in it. But let me just give you a pen. I'm giving you this pen through the computer here, and you've got your magic wand. Okay? Do you have a magic wand? Do you have a pen or pencil there?
This will do.
You are prepared. I love it. Now, just for fun, I want you to just pretend that if that was a magic wand, and if time and money were not an obstacle whatsoever, if you could have anything out of an ASEA business, if this was a vehicle that could create anything for you and Carrie, for your family, what would you want out of an ASEA business? And why would you want that?
Well, for me, Bart, and we've talked about this often, it's time, really. And what do I want that time for is to connect with people. Most importantly, family first. I love connecting with my family. I want to have the ability to travel to Canada as and when we choose to see Carrie's family over there, and to stay for as long as we want or need to connect and be with family, and then to be able to return and have time with family here and friends. Secondly, more Harley riding for sure. So maybe even buy a Harley rather than the BMW that I have at the moment, and or have both. Why not? So time, independence, which would mean creating profits instead of wages, and something that would work for me while I'm traveling.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. In fact, I can think of some very cool rides that we could do. Maybe even next year, riding down the California coast on the way to the convention, perhaps would be a fun one. Hey, let me ask you a question. If again you've got your magic wand, if you could live anywhere, any home anywhere in the world, what would that home look like? I don't, if it even helps, you could close your eyes. You could imagine walking out on the deck of your home, and I want you to just take a breath in. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel?
Well, that's easy because I imagine this often. It'd be on the gentle slopes looking out onto a beach, but at the same time having 360-degree views round to hinterland behind me, and privacy, not another home that I can see for quite some distance. But accessibility at the same time, at least 5-car garage to keep all the motorbikes and cars, and just a beautiful, custom designed house that took in all the views and was made with just phenomenal materials.
Sounds nice. Sounds nice. And if, let's say, because I know that you're a big-hearted guy, let's say that the time and money wasn't an obstacle, and you basically helped your family. I don't know, maybe there's some things there that you'd like to be able to do for your, for your family and so forth. But let me just kind of click on this and just bring up a couple things. Let's say if you could just give back to society. Of course, ASEA has some pretty cool ways that they give back, and that would be through the Advancing Life Foundation, doing some amazing things. But is there anything that's kind of near and dear to your heart that you'd want to help with or contribute, or just, I don't know, just feels so good when you can do something that's outside of yourself too?
Oh, for sure. For me, it's to do with sight and the work of Fred Hollows, and because I'm rather short-sighted and I have implanted lenses in my eyes, and without having had that operation, I'd have trouble seeing lots of different things. Absolutely, ASEA has gone further to help my eyes in that regard, but I'd love to give back in that area, in that same vein as what Fred Hollows did.
So maybe, if you don't mind, just clarify, what does he do?
In his time, he actually travelled quite a bit and went to third world countries, offering free sight exams and helping the needy with sight, vision, vision aids, etc.
Yeah, he's gone in there and give people a chance to see that otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity in impoverished places, hasn't he?
Indeed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, hey, we both like to play. If time and money wasn't an obstacle and you could just play or travel, where would you go? What would you do? Who are you going to take?
There is so many different places to go and play, and Carrie with her cruise background, where there's so many different places we just want to cruise to and holiday in, and then so many spectacular sites around the world. I mean, where do you start? The world is a beautiful, beautiful place, and there is so much to see, simply not enough time.
So where's the first place going to be?
We have not been to Hawaii yet, so we'd love to go there, and followed by Thailand.
Followed by where?
Thailand.
Thailand, beautiful. Hey, Croatia is not a bad place either. I understand it's quite beautiful.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe we can get you there, huh?
Fantastic.
And Sean, I want you to imagine that I've got a set of car keys right here, and right outside your door, they've just pulled up, and there's a big ribbon on top. It's a beautiful car, and it's yours, but it's whatever you dream it would be. What is it?
Just the Aston Martin Vanquish would be fine. Thanks, Bart.
Okay. What color is it?
Kind of like the gunmetal grey.
Okay. And now if you're sitting in it and you start it up, what does it sound like?
Well, the roar would just be superb. The pipes would have been worked just to really extract every bit of sound out of that beast, and it would just feel phenomenal, just changing and going through the gears. Yeah,
fantastic. And is there anything else that you're thinking of if time and money wasn't an obstacle? Things that maybe nephews, nieces, your kids, anything else that you'd want to, your parent, your folks, anything you'd like to do that you haven't mentioned?
Oh, for sure. There's so much that I would like to give back to my parents and be able to support them in a way that I really feel that I haven't been able to at this point in time. There's so many family and friends that need help and assistance. If there was something that I could share with them and help them along, that could leave them in a position of, continuously earning a bit more, even if it was just a couple of $100 a week more, and make a difference in their life. Of course, that's what really powers me, is making a difference. That would be fulfillment for me. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Sean, thanks for sharing all that stuff with me. Kind of getting personal and letting me know where you're at with all this, because I want to tell you something.
I want to ask you a question. It's a really big question. The fact is everything that you've told me that you would want out of an ASEA business, if it was something that could provide anything for you and your family, if you could have anything, you've given me a pretty clear indication of the freedom and the lifestyle that you'd like to have, the ability to give back, the ability to share, be able to make a difference. I want to clearly tell you that it's not only our experience, but it's the experience of a lot of friends of ours in ASEA, that if you're willing to do for 2 to 5 years what most people are not willing to do, you can have a lifestyle that most people only dream about. Now, what that means is, what most people aren't willing to do is pretty simple stuff. Being willing to talk with people, being willing to pick up the telephone, it's being willing to follow up, it's being willing to have a vision, which, by the way, you just shared with me quite clearly. And it's being able to help other people to create a vision for what they want and to follow up with that and then to work with people. So I've got one really big question for you, Sean. If you're willing to do for 2 to 5 years what most people aren't willing to do, to have a lifestyle that most people only dream about, is it worth it?
Absolutely, it would be worth it, Bart, because doing what I'm doing now, even for the next 20 years, is not going to give me a quarter of everything that we just talked about. So if 2 to 5 years is really what it's going to be in ASEA, and you can show me how that's achieved, I'm in.
Fantastic. Well, Sean, I want to tell you that I want to just tell you welcome aboard, because
thank you very much.
Worth it, and we'll do it together, because this commitment, this 2 to 5 years, isn't just about you, but it's about our commitment. It's about my commitment and our commitment to help you to achieve that, and we'll do it together. So
no one else I'd rather work with.
Fantastic. Welcome aboard, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's go for it. Let's make a game plan and let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thanks for walking through that, Sean. Like I told you when we started this exercise, I wanted to give you kind of an idea, everybody, what this conversation is, kind of an outline. I hope, and I didn't preface this by saying that I should have said I don't want anyone else to think of what their goals and dreams are as we're going through. Of course, I say that facetiously. I hope that you had a chance to kind of think what your goals, what your dreams are, what your why is. If you had a magic wand, what would you want out of an ASEA business? If this was a vehicle that could create anything for you, your family, the people you care about, the people you love, just like I had this conversation with Sean, that conversation was not just for Sean. That conversation was with the 100 people that are on this conference call who are listening right now. Because I'm telling you that if you dream it and you believe it and you're willing to pay the price and go for it, it is absolutely worth it, and you can make it happen. It's very, very exciting stuff. Now, what I'd like to do is just to take a moment and just share with you. I want to just walk through this just a little bit more. I want to go through what I already went through with Sean, but I want to clarify a little bit and tell you why I did some of the things that I did. So this conversation is something that you could actually have with a prospect right from day one. I could say, let's say if I was calling Sean up and he was a prospect, I could say, Sean, I've come across something that's really amazing. Something that I can really absolutely believe in. I'm so excited about it. Flew to Salt Lake City. I've met the founders of this company. I've got goosebumps. It's what we've been looking for, mate. This company has integrity. It's stable, as solid as a rock, and the timing's unbelievable. You really got to take a look at this. I want you to consider joining me in this business. And so I've just mentioned that from integrity, stability, and timing, and I've given you an example on how you could bring up that subject right from day one with someone that you're talking to about that you want to join you in a business. And so obviously this conversation that I directed was that Sean has been involved for a little while, but again, this conversation, this outline could be used for even an initial conversation, because this is the foundation. Look, there's lots of good things, lots of good products, lots of good companies out there, but when you really believe in something that you're passionate about, people will feel that, they'll see that, they'll smell it, they'll sense that. And when you've got that passion, they're going to say, I want a piece of what he's got. And so the second thing is, and Sean, when I went through that exercise, did you feel my passion and my sincerity with those things when I was talking about the integrity, the stability, and the timing of the company?
Yes, as well as conviction, enthusiasm, and which is what people want to grab onto because they don't have a lot of those things themselves in currently what they're doing.
Yeah, and I would say that for most people, these are, this is the apprehension. They're thinking, is this something I can really put my name behind? Is this something I can put my integrity behind? Is the timing right? And so you're actually addressing those questions before they actually even verbalize them. They're just questions that are rattling around in their brain or their heart as they're thinking about it. Now, the second thing is without any kind of, with 100% clarity and conviction, I told Sean that I was absolutely committed and that we were committed and that we're running with this thing. Did you sense any doubt in my commitment, my statement of my commitment to you, Sean?
Zero doubt, and the forthrightness of how that is delivered, I think, is absolutely critical to this entire process. You've established a foundation, and now as we move into the long part, I need to know that you're absolutely 100% committed, no doubt, 100% certainty, and that's exactly what I felt as you delivered.
You know what? People want to be on a train that's going somewhere. They really do. And when you approach someone about joining you in a business, I love the fact that Mal Sword comes right through the front door and he says, I'm looking for people who are looking. Are you open to other ways of making money? He doesn't try to go through the back door and the side door and crawl through the crawl underneath the house about the products. The products are fantastic, but he says, I'm looking for people. I'm looking to build networks of people. So you can always have a fallback position about, hey, at the very least, I'd like you to become a customer. I'd like you to try this. But when it comes to the business, when you have complete and total assertiveness and commitment, people will feel that and they'll absolutely resonate with your commitment. And the next thing is that people like to hear nice things about themselves. I'm not just, this isn't just fluff. This is absolutely the truth. Now, Sean, I told you quite a few things about you that I think were 100% true. And when I was sharing some of those things with you, how did that feel?
Oh, geez. Well, it makes you feel fantastic. Everyone wants to be recognized for who they are. I mean, as you're telling the person, they might feel humbled by it. Regardless, if it's the absolute truth, that communicates once again with the level of commitment, conviction, and certainty.
Yeah. So when you let people know, and stop and think about it for a second before you have a conversation, why would I want this person to be a part of my team? The fact is, as in network marketing, we get to pick and choose who we want to work with. We get to spend our time with who we want to spend our time with. So when I think of Sean, he comes from he's got a great set of skills and talents, and he's fun to be with. And it's, he's not a, constant, never-ending complainer. I mean, if you're working with someone like that, we got better places to spend our time, right? We get to pick and choose who we want to work with. So here's the fact: if you invite someone to join you in a business, and let's say, for example, if this just wasn't the right business for Sean, he's happy for me, but he says, "Hey, Bart, thanks, but no thanks, just not my cup of tea." Are you going to walk away from that conversation thinking that I'm a horrible, pushy person?
Not at all.
I just, one of the greatest compliments that we can give someone is to invite them to join us in a business. And particularly if you're completely sincere, and let them know the qualities, the attributes about that person, why you really value them as a person. The very first three-way phone call that I had 25 years ago, I remember the guy's name's Dave. He said, "Hey, Bart, Bruce has been talking really nice about you. He says that you're ambitious, that you're self-motivated, that you're a real go-getter, a real people person. Hey, is that true?" And I remember kind of sitting up a little taller and thinking, yeah, that feels pretty good. Of course, I knew he was buttering me up. But the fact is that people like to hear nice things about themselves. And when you value that person for the skills and the attributes that they could really bring to your business, I think it really speaks volumes. And it's going to really help that person feel like they want to belong, that they want to be part of your tribe. They want to be part of your group, part of your team. Now, the next thing I did was, and this is interesting, if you can just visualize with me, for example, if Sean was holding up his hand, and Sean, just hold up your hand for a second, and I was pushing, what do you naturally want to do? You want to push back, right?
Push back.
Yeah. So that pressure is a little, so if I say, "Sean, you have to join me, he's going to want to push back. But if I say, "Hey, Sean, I want to let you know something, mate. We're building this with or without you." we're taking this thing all the way. We've made a clear decision. We're going to build an amazing team. We're looking for people that we want to bring along with us. I don't know if this is for you or not, but I'm doing it with or without you. Now, do you get any kind of feeling when I say I'm doing it with or without you? What does that actually do psychologically?
Well, it creates hesitancy or doubt if there was any thought going the other way. And once again, based on your level of enthusiasm, passion, that you've just said all these wonderful, true things to me as well, it does create a pause, really. Would I want to miss this opportunity? Do I want to decide to move forward? I don't feel pressure. It's odd that he's taken the pressure away. This is a bit strange. With or without me, geez, maybe I really should think about this a bit harder.
Yeah, but bottom line is you don't want to be left behind, right?
Don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, so that's really the point of this is when you can say that with total confidence and certainty that you're committed, you're doing this with or without. The fact is that there's billions of other people on this planet, and if I've made a decision that I'm going to build this and I'm going to take it all the way, the fact is it doesn't matter whether Sean joins me in this or decides to build this with us or not, because there are hundreds of millions of other people I can talk to, and I will. It doesn't matter. It builds a level of confidence and certainty within me, and because the last thing that you ever want to come across is being needy. When you have certainty and confidence, it's much better than coming across as being needy. I'm not saying, please, Sean, please join me in this business. I know that we could really, work it well together. Please, I'm not begging Sean to join me. I'm letting him know with my certainty and my confidence that hey, mate, we're running with this. Come join us. But either way, it's fine. Now, a while back, Julie Watts did a thing on personality types, and there's different ways of breaking down personalities. I'm used to a method called supporters, analyticals, promoters, and controllers. And basically these personality types, you have to realize that people do things for their reason, not for your reasons. So for example, a supporter personality, they generally get involved with the ASEA because they love helping other people. They will, their ideal car is probably going to be some sort of a van where they can take people around with them and, and be there to support and help other people. You've got promoters. They're the ones that they're all about the fun. They're all about the trips, the incentive trips. They're all about the convention and the party. They want to get involved because they love helping people, but mostly, hey, they want to be around fun people. They want to be around people who are exciting. The incentives, the trips, and all that is going to be really powerful. The controllers, they're more the business-minded people. Their ideal car would probably be like a BMW or a Mercedes or something like that. They love making money, and their concept would be show me the business. How does the business work? And if a supporter and a controller got together, one is saying, well, you don't worry about the money, you just help people. They're going to kind of like be diabolically opposed. They're going to drive each other a little crazy. So what I've done here is I've actually addressed all of them, really. I said, Sean, we could have a lot of fun, we can help a lot of people, and we can make a lot of money with this. Because all of us has some of these different personality quadrants within us, even though we may be predominantly one. So the fact is I didn't just talk about helping people. I didn't just talk about making money, and I didn't just, I basically encompassed all those. So I said, Sean, I'd love to have you join us. We could have a lot of fun. We can help a lot of people, and we can make a lot of money. And then I said, hey, this may or may not be for you. And I went to the next thing, which is, what do you want out of this? Because if you don't have a clear why, this could be the greatest thing in the entire world. Quite frankly, I think ASEA is. I think we got the best product in the world. But unless you have a really clear reason why you're doing it, you're going to run into the obstacles, the challenges, and you're going to find a reason why not to do it. Now, there's a reason why I use the magic wand, and I know that this might seem a little odd, might seem uncomfortable for some of you, but I've done this a lot. And if you just play with it a little bit, if you get playful, it can really make a big difference. And so if you recall, I asked Sean, I said, Sean, I want you to just pretend for a second that you're 6 years old. There's a time in our life when we were a little kid, and basically we had no limitations. We could dream. We could think about, becoming, doing anything. And so what I wanted to do was to give you a tool to give you the license to dream. And so and you know what, you can use a pencil, you can use a pen. I just used a couple of, I mean, if you really want to have some fun, you can get at the dollar store or whatever, you can get a little magic wand, or you can see these pencils with the little diamond on it. It's just, all it is just something to play, to have a little bit of fun. It's a tool to help you to dream a little bit. And I asked Sean a very clear question. I said, if time and money was not an obstacle, it's a little bit like saying if you had the genie lamp and you had an unlimited number of wishes, if you won the lottery, you know, if the sky was the limit, what would you actually want out of an ASEA business? And why would you want it? You know, Sean talked about being able to make a difference and help his folks and help his family. I know he's got some nephews and nieces, and being able to create memories and experiences for him and Carrie, and to be able to travel the world and of course some fun things that we're going to do together too, right, Sean?
That's right.
Okay. And so Sean, the magic, because the fact is that most people have forgotten how to dream. You know, they've had, you know, most people have been, I don't know, kicked in the teeth or the gut so many times. They've been just had so many challenges that they're afraid to dream. So tell me, does that little tool, does the magic wand, does that kind of help to sort of free you up a little bit to have the license to dream a little bit?
Well, I think the way that you introduce it and say, look, it might be a bit corny or whatever else, that takes away any awkwardness straight away. And then if the person really engages, and you can have them engage in what they want there, you know, regardless if it's a pen or whatever device, if it gets them into state, this is the direction that you want to take them, because these are their why, their thoughts, their feelings, and this is what's going to weather the storm when amnesia kicks in later on, and you get to remind them why they chose to do what they're doing. And that's why it's the roof of the house for me in this process.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the house, why is it that we put a roof on a house? Well, it's to weather the storm, right? It's to protect you from the rainy days and the weather that comes up. And so that roof is the why. And I asked some questions. These are some of the questions that I talked about here. I asked Sean, I said, if you could live anywhere, any home anywhere, what would that look like? Where would that be? And I really tried to get the senses involved with this too. I tried to paint the picture of Sean stepping out on the deck of his home and looking around and smelling the air. What do you smell? What do you see? And did that help to really create some feeling and emotion behind it?
Oh yes, absolutely. For, you know, because I know what it is straight away. I can connect with it straight away. It's that salt air with a hint of cut grass around, you know, the property, looking onto the hinterland at the same time. So inviting all the senses to participate is a good thing as well. So to ask someone what do they see, feel, hear in part of the process is a good way to get them to change state. And this is the what's in it for them, which once again in any part of the sales process is critical, is key. It is about them at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that you can do to help create this and make it even more real. Like for example, you're was it Aston Martin? Is that right?
Yes, the Aston Martin Vanquish. So I was rather specific.
Yeah. Now, is that a promoter or a controller car, Sean? I'm not quite sure.
Oh, geez. For that, it would be a dominating car. So it would be a controller car for sure.
Yeah, I think
I'm not really a controller personality, but I just picked that one.
But when you imagine sitting in it, you can actually hear that rumble, and you can feel that power just by hitting the gas pedal a little bit. All of a sudden you can just imagine it, right?
Oh, yeah, it's not very hard to do.
Okay, and then we get into, you know, what is the color? Is it cloth? Is it leather? How does it smell? So you get into those kind of things, giving back. Now, here's the interesting thing. Let me just address this for just a second. When you're doing this exercise with people, you'll have some people, for example, if they're 100% supporter personality types, or mostly dominant supporter types, they might go on with several different ways that they're going to help their family, they're going to help their friends, they're going to help their, you know, this person and this charity and that charity and their church. And I want to tell you, you need to bring it back to them, because they can help everybody, but you know what? They are deserving as well. They deserve it. And so what I would say is, you know what? Let's just say that you can help, that you've done everything to support everybody else. If time and money wasn't an obstacle and you could just play, and it's just about you, what would you like to do? Throw out some ideas. Would it be skydiving? Would it be scuba diving? Would it be, playing golf around the world? What would it, taking a cruise around the world? What would it be for you? And who would you like to take with you? Who special would you like to take with you? So you're really digging a little bit and have some fun with this. I mean, really try to dig and get into it. And if you've prefaced it the way that we talked about, you can play with this exercise and really have some fun and help to really find the dreams that people have kind of tucked deep inside and help pull them out so that they can dream again. Now, the next thing that I did was I told Sean, I said, the fact is that there are so many people that have been able that are living their dreams right now that probably didn't really think that they could to begin with. But ASEA has been a vehicle that has been able to do that. It's certainly been the case for us. And I mean, Ed Weens, Chuck and Tammy Gates, Danny Robinson, Alan Noble, we can go right on up the upline team. We can go to people, Dan Doyle's out there traveling the world right now, creating incredible memories and experiences. Mal Sword's doing some fantastic things, building homes for people in Africa, contributing back to society. And just, I mean, the list goes on of things that you can do to be able to realize your dreams. And so many people who didn't think that they'd be able to, that didn't think that they were capable of it. As I'm thinking through so many various leaders that you go to the convention and you meet some really amazing people and you think, man, if they can do it, so can I. And then this is the big question. Every single thing that we've done up to this point leads us to this one question. Because Sean, I told you, I said, we've identified what your dreams were, what your goals were, what you would want out of this. I clearly told you that there's been plenty of people that have been willing to pay the price and that they've done it. And basically the sacrifice was just being willing to do a few ordinary things extraordinarily well with some commitment, having a vision, talking with people. And I asked you a very clear question. Is it worth it? That is the question. That is the closing question. And I tell you, 99 times out of 100, you're going to have people say, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it is. And it's a pretty clear answer, isn't it, Sean?
Oh, really clear, especially if they do reflect on what their current method of earning is and would it come anywhere close to achieving the things that you've just taken them through with the wand exercise. Yeah. Now, did I ever once say this was going to be a get-rich-quick thing? That it was going to be something for nothing? Yeah, I told you it was going to be. Yep. There's going to be some real time. It's going to be some real effort. Now, when Sean said, yes, it is worth it, what did he just give me? Sean, what did you give me?
Permission, actually, to lead, for me to follow, to duplicate. That's the things that spring to mind for me, by saying, yes, it's worth it. Okay. Now, if we were sitting, together, if I was over at Sean's place or he was at mine, I would be putting my hand out and shaking Sean's hand, and I'd say, welcome aboard. And that handshake is a commitment. And I would clarify that was a commitment, that my commitment is to help him. And that, is it okay if I remind, Sean, is it okay if I remind you of what your commitment is from the things that you said is your why? Absolutely. Okay, so as we move forward, you've told me that it's worth it doing for 2 to 5 years. So I've got your commitment in the next 2 to 5 years to really make this happen. And you've got my commitment as well. Fair enough? Fair enough. Okay. And so that is the locking in the commitment exercise, or the close, if you want to call it the close commitment. So again, it's believe, belong, become. It's about creating a foundation. It's creating the team, something that people can get into, be a part of. And this is about your why, about getting real clear on about what the person's goals, dreams, and ambitions are, and then locking in that commitment with them together. So hopefully at this point in time, and Sean, do you feel like from this conversation that you've got even more clarity, more conviction, and an ability to not hold back, to really say, let's go for it? Absolutely, because of the process that this works through, with the foundation being the company, the middle bit being about you. Now I've got even further confidence and certainty in the foundation, which is the company, the timing, stability. I can clearly see that you're a leader, and why wouldn't I want to align myself with you and where you're going? You've given me the with or without you, so there is that hesitancy, that fear that I might be left behind. And then to finish off with the bit that about me is perfect, because I do know what I want. I'm probably not achieving it doing what I'm doing now. And with everything that you've expressed about the company and yourself, it sounds like you're definitely going to go there. I want to hitch my wagon with yours.
Thanks, Sean. What I want to do now is I want to play.
And now I'd like to leave you with these.
There's a very short video, audio from Jim Rohn. It goes for about 3 minutes, but I want to play this. I want you to listen to this, and I want you to think. I want you to think about your own personal situation, your own desire, your own commitment. I want you to listen to Jim Rohn, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll open it up to any Q&A about what we've done here. So I hope that this has been helpful so far. Let me just start this, and hopefully you'll be able to hear this. The audio is just a little bit faint, but Jim Rohn is truly one of my heroes. He's one of the best speakers and presenters. He was the mentor for Tony Robbins. Jim Rohn has passed away, but he is an absolute legend. So please have a listen to Jim Rohn, and then we'll wrap this up.
These 4 questions called questions to ponder. These questions were valuable for me, and I want to make them valuable for you. Here's the first one: why? We all ask why we should work this hard. Why take that many classes? Why go to school that many years? Why take the notes? Why read the books? Why work that hard? Why put yourself through the push-ups and the disciplines? Why? Good question, why? Best answer to why, I think, is the second question. Why not? Why not see how many books you can read, how many classes you can take, how many skills you can develop? Why not see how valuable you can become to the marketplace and to your friends and to your family? Why not see what you can make of yourself? Why not see how far you can go, how much you can see, how much you can earn, how much you can share? Why not? That's the heritage all of us have, in America especially, is to see what we can make out of our lives now that we've been given this extraordinary opportunity. Now, my third question I'd love to ask you in person. But since I can't do it in person, I want to ask it of all of you. But I want you to take it personally. And my third question is, why not you? Why not you? With good self-esteem. Why not you starting to change and setting goals? Why not you starting to make progress toward financial independence? If I can do it, you can do it. I wished I had a lot more testimonials here today besides mine. A whole steady stream that would come by and tell you their story. Someone who started with nothing, finally run a big enterprise. A mother who was on welfare, now she owns her own business. In addition to my story, I wish I had a lot more. And if all of them told their story, guess how they would probably wind up their story? They'd probably say, just like me, why not you? If we can read, you can read. If we can change, you can change. If we can figure it out, you can figure it out. If we can turn it around, you can turn it around. There isn't anything you can't accomplish. That's what those testimonials would say. And so I want to say it to you personally. Why not you? You've got the brains, you've got the stamina, you've got the vitality, you've got the interest, you've got your life ahead of you, you've got the future. You can do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it. If one of us can do it, hey, we all can do it. And now here's my last question. Why not now? What a good time to set your goals, work on yourself, work on your skills. What a good time to get it together. What a good time to start this process. Personal development, growing, changing, developing, having a good plan for your money and for your life and for your future. Why not now? I wish you the best. I want all that I've gotten to be yours and much, much more. God bless. Goodbye. And now
There we go. And why not you? It really is just about making that decision. I hope that this has been helpful in directing you on maybe helping the people that have been part of your team. How do you have a conversation with them? How do you, first of all, make that commitment, that decision, and then have that conversation with your new people, whether it's new prospects or whether it's people that have been on board with you for a while, to say, hey, let's build this. Let's take it to a whole nother level. Let's do something amazing together. And I hope that this has been good to give you a flow of the conversation. Stevie, I'll just go ahead and open this back up to you, and I'll stop the share for right now.
Thank you very much, Bart. I'll just say on behalf of everyone here, we really appreciate you and your leadership and blazing the way. And then I'm always willing to turn around and help us and pull us up along with you. And thanks very much, Sean, for being the guinea pig. You're a good guinea pig, mate. I think you're in, mate. Welcome aboard. So we really appreciate you. And so, folks, if you've got any questions, comments you would like to give to Bart,
I'll just stop the recording. There we are.